himself shared the burden he carried. His footsteps echoed through the silent corridors, his gaze locked on the worn piece of paper in his hand. It was a letter, not one filled with love or hope, but a stark reminder of how fragile life could be. He couldn't shake the emptiness it left behind, nor the strange twist of fate that had brought him here. At the heart of this tale was a boy who had already lost more than most. Now he stood at the gates of a new chapter, where laughter echoed in a place he had never expected to find solace, a nursery school filled with the endless energy of small children. It was a setting that clashed violently with his sorrow, yet somehow he couldn't look away. The first time he stepped into that bright, chaotic room, he felt like an outsider in a world he couldn't comprehend. Children darted around, their faces lit with joy, while a voice called out amidst the whirlwind, a voice full of warmth and authority. She appeared then, the caregiver who seemed to anchor this small universe. Her presence was magnetic, her smile disarming. For a moment, he forgot why he was there, but the reality hit him soon enough. This was his new responsibility, a promise he couldn't ignore. A tiny hand tugged at his sleeve, pulling him back to the present. The child's eyes, wide with curiosity, pierced through his uncertainty. How could someone so small hold such power? His life began to shift, slowly and imperceptibly, with every passing day in that nursery. The children, with their boundless energy and unexpected wisdom, became his mirrors, reflecting back emotions he had long buried. Their laughter and tears felt like a language he was just beginning to understand. But could he truly belong in this world? Or was he merely a visitor in a place meant for others? One afternoon, as he sat on the floor surrounded by toys and giggles, a child crawled into his lap, clutching a worn-out picture book. The child's trust was disarming, and for the first time he felt something break inside, a wall he didn't even realize he'd built. Was this what it meant to feel needed? Yet, the journey wasn't without its struggles. Balancing his own pain with the demands of caring for others often left him questioning himself. There were moments when exhaustion took over, and the weight of responsibility felt like too much to bear. But then, there were the little things, the way a child's face lit up when he entered the room, or how their tiny hands sought his comfort in moments of fear. These were the threads that slowly stitched him back together. Midway through this journey, he found himself staring out the window of the nursery, watching the rain blur the world outside. He couldn't help but wonder, was he making a difference? Did the children see him as more than just someone passing through their lives? The thought lingered, gnawing at his insecurities. But the answer came not in words, but in actions. A child, one who had always been shy and withdrawn, handed him a drawing, a crayon depiction of the two of them holding hands. It was a simple gesture, yet it spoke volumes. It told him he was seen, that his presence mattered. And in that moment, the weight of doubt lifted, even if only for a while. As the weeks turned into months, he began to see the nursery not just as a place of work, but as a sanctuary. The caregiver, too, became a constant in his life, a quiet strength who seemed to understand him in ways no one else could. Their conversations, often brief and filled with light teasing, carried an unspoken connection. Was it possible that amidst the chaos of their lives, they had found something neither had been looking for? But just as he began to settle into this new rhythm, a shadow from his past reemerged, threatening to pull him back into the darkness he thought he'd escaped. The phone call came late one night, its message cold and unyielding. He found himself standing at a crossroads, torn between the life he was building and the responsibilities he couldn't ignore. The next morning, as he arrived at the nursery, his mind was elsewhere. The children noticed, their keen eyes picking up on his unease. One by one, they tried to cheer him up. A lopsided drawing here, a silly story there. It was a testament to how much they had grown to care for him, and he couldn't help but smile despite the storm raging inside him. Then came the moment he hadn't anticipated. One of the children, the shyest of them all, stood before him with trembling hands, holding out a small, handmade gift. It was a bracelet, crafted clumsily but with love. "For you," the child mumbled, looking anywhere but at him. He knelt down, accepting the gift with a sincerity that surprised even himself. As he slipped the bracelet onto his wrist, he realized something profound. This place, these people, they had become his family, and no matter where his path led, he would carry their warmth with him. But life, as